If it's the middle of the month, it's time to report on the middle of the pack. The mid report is coming up next on this bonus episode of the Indie Ball Report podcast. All right, back again. It is time for another bonus episode, and it is time for the mid report. Missed June, so we're back for July. So those that are familiar with the mid report from last year will know that what we do around here is we go through each of the four leagues. We try to find ourselves the teams that we certifiably classify as mid. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they have a winning record or a losing record. It just means that when you see this team play, in combination with the record, in combination with the results from each player, and just the overall aura or vibe of the team, they just come across as extremely middle of the pack, middling, not quite bottom of the barrel, but also they're not playing for anything meaningful either. So that's what we're trying to do here. So with that established here, why don't we start in the Frontier League?
Sure, we can start there. Man, sorry, I was really just thinking before we fully hop in here about. I try my best to listen to every episode, kind of learn from it, catch things where I'm like, oh, maybe I need to correct that or whatever the case may be. I just want to acknowledge one thing publicly, which is I hop on the pregame show for the Sioux City broadcast last week. Have a great time, enjoyed it, and this next episode that we then recorded on for Saturday, I believe not once but twice, I dropped I'm not sure where I talked. I guess this wasn't here. I think this was on the Sioux City pregame show. I am already like, I have so many media obligations. How could I keep them straight? You'll have to pardon me. So I am just so apologetic for being the worst. I was like, damn, Ryan. Like,
I'm just honored.
You too many, my guy.
I'm just honored that you'd be on this show for over 100 episodes at this point. I'm honored.
It is truly I guess a sentiment, not even a sentiment. It is a monument to the fact that neither of us can do better.
So we're just like that old couple that's like, it's die alone or live with this. I guess we're going to deal until someone drops dead.
Don't talk about Jack and I that way. I hate that. It's because I'm above 30. Oh, God. Anyway, we're talking.
Speaking above 30, we have several teams in this league that are above 30 wins. What a segue. So working our way top to bottom here. Sussex County's up first, 13 above 500, but have not been playing great baseball lately, and certainly, I think, are a point of contention to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I feel comfortable putting them in the mid group, just because they still do have a top record in the league, and they have gone on several tears where they've won, 5 at a clip or so. That again being said, though, the competition has not exactly been high level.
Yeah, I'm just checking a little bit of math here because I think you bring up a good point. And I mean, it's hard with a 35-22 record in a 6-game lead in the division to be like, oh, these guys, aren't certifiably good. But there's so many extenuating circumstances with this team. I know there's been some disagreement already about, how we might view them. Let's see. Because obviously, just to clarify, I don't like to assume knowledge from the listeners. It's the division that they play in that is what makes us wonder about, who this team actually is. I'm just looking at because they had that losing streak, but then they took 3 out of 4, but they took 3 out of 4 from New Jersey, which is the story of their season.
2 spots when I look at it, like half this lineup hitting above 300, and they don't strike out that much. Like there's 1 or 2 guys who are like, I wish you wouldn't, but outside of that, they have some really good professional hitters here. And also, I'm kind of confused as to why Maciel was not an all-star. Dude's hitting over 400. I get batting average is what it is, but 400 is 400. That's damn impressive.
Right.
I mean, he also got 23 walks to go with it, so it's not like he's only doing that. But that's either here nor there. But so that gets me, and then I look at the pitching, and like it's fine, really. Like they got what 2-3 really solid starters here, and I mean, even Brothers is your 4. Isn't that a bad starter at a 4.5 ERA? He doesn't really walk too many guys. He's like, I look at them, they're a good team, but again, I just can't get over the fact that, like you said, they're doing damage against like New Jersey and Three Rivers and that kind of thing here. Like Ottawa too, although Ottawa kind of took him belt to ass earlier in the month.
Which I think says something, actually.
Then the Down East series kind of is like, you can't get shut out back-to-back days by Down East. Recover however you want. That's still not the luck you need.
How about this one? And this speaks to it. If you remove, I haven't gotten to check the whole league. I actually probably could finish those numbers up. But if you just remove the Atlantic Conference teams, so in their own conference that are below 500 from their schedule, I got them at 12-12. That is, which means they're beating the teams that are bad, and they're not really. I mean, but then they're 50-50 against above 500 teams. Does that mean they're good, or does that mean they're mid? They're mid. Like I don't.
I feel like. See, here's the thing: either at the very tippy top of mid, or they're at the very bottom of good.
And I'm going to just clarify too. If you remove all under 500 teams from their schedule, they are 9-12.
Okay, so against winning teams, they have a losing record,
which is also a crazy one, by the way, because we've talked about how the benefit of being in a couple of these lesser divisions, and we're not going to take this on everybody, but Sussex is, I think, the most interesting case in this entire division or entire
by
league.
far the most polarizing.
And I think what we decide here is going to dictate a lot of the next 75 Frontier League teams, seemingly. So hear me out here, because it's not just about what they're doing against good or bad teams. It's the fact that they have played, if we're running with this math, they've played 57 games, and only 21 of them have been teams above 500. And I mean, even 6 of those are against the Boulders, who have been under 500. To be clear, I'm just saying who are currently under or over 500, because I don't have the means to figure out what records we're kind of playing. But that the benefit, of course, is, well, it's a hell of a lot easier to handle business in a 3-game set after playing a bad team for a 3-game series. So I'm sure even that 9-12 is helped out by a bad schedule. Now, of course, a lot of teams in this league are playing bad schedules, so there's that too. But I am so tempted to put Sussex County as like the northern tip of mid. But I also could just as easily put them at the lowest possible good spot. And it really comes down to this. Who do we really see this team being? Like, who do we see them as moving forward from this? Because what mid really is we know who you are. Mid is not your mid right now, in which case we would just be picking the middle teams in the standings right now as mid. It is, if you're mid, that is all you are. You are like, it is, the chain is on. It is mid. And you've been labeled, stamped on the forehead. Like, you know, your buddy walking around with an "I'm with mid" shirt. Like, that is who you are. You cannot bounce from it. If you're bad, you know,
Scarlet
or
mid.
Is that, I don't know. No. It's all come back to me. We're having this discussion for the second year in a row, because the other conversation was, or is it you're good certifiably, you're bad certifiably, and then everyone else is just in flux? Oh God. What are we doing? Define it for me, Nick. It's your podcast.
This is like the poll all over again. This is exactly the rankings poll discussion.
There's a man in a white coat loading a gun, looking at me and shaking his head over here. You need to keep me from spiraling out, Nick. I need help.
Well, don't worry. That's just the government coming to get you. They've seen the Facebook posts.
Papa, what's mid mean? What? So what in your mind is
kind
mid?
of put it as
What
like
you're feeling.
I'm more on the influx kind of thing, where it's just like I don't really know what you
Okay.
are, and it turns in as
well,
the
then
year
this
goes
seems
along,
certainly
it
is mid.
becomes. See, I kind of wanted to give them a pass, and here's the real problem I have here, right? It's like I think they probably should be in mid. I don't want to do that to them because it feels so wrong to give a team with this record a mid label. But I also go ahead and I look and I
It's gonna
say,
be a tough Wednesday evening for me if we do that.
Yeah. I also kind of look and go, all right, so we probably go ahead and do the mid report again in about a month or so. And in that time, they will have played Schaumburg. They will have played New York a few times. I think a few times, maybe just do the one series. Either way, they will have had New York. They will have had Schaumburg. They will have had Washington. You know, they will have had some other teams in there that really aren't mid, or at least better competitions, I shouldn't say, because New York I'm going to call mid. But, like, at least then they'll have some real series in there. We'll figure out what the hell Down East is, and they have 6 against Down East too. So that's a factor in that. Like in a month from now, I feel like they very much will be certifiably either mid or good. But right now, they're not quite either. So I'm comfortable calling them good. I'm also comfortable calling them mid. I kind of want to call them good for now until proven otherwise.
Oh, okay. I remember from last year, I usually go your way on it for 50-50.
I think we go
because I am leaning. I don't feel very passionately. We both don't feel super passionately about the direction on this, which I would say might define a mid team to me. But hey,
fair. But I feel
are
like
they good? That sounds like a question you ask about a mid team.
That's definitely a sentence that's been said multiple times throughout the mid report's young history. Because
not to throw your own words back at you, but you did just say, well, I think a mid team is a team that's in flux. And then you went, I don't know if they're good. We'll find out in the next month. And I'm like,
but they also are 13 games above 500.
Yeah. I mean, against like scraps.
But it's still
I said what I said.
500.
Fight me tomorrow night, Frontier League. No, Wednesday night. Whatever.
Don't worry, this comes out on Tuesday.
Sweet. Fight me tomorrow night.
I also got the 4th most wins in the league.
Yeah, you should in that division. You kidding me? We already said beforehand that, like, oh, whoever wins this division is going to potentially knock Quebec for the top spot in the division, in the league, in the playoffs, because they could collect so many wins. Now, we thought it would be the Boulders. We didn't expect the Boulders to play the entire first half just chewing on bats, but here we are. Like,
have you ever tasted?
Need I remind you, this is the expected result for this division.
I'm still lean good, because as dumb as it is, run diff against Quebec is in the positive.
All right, I'll allow that.
Like,
in a world needing things to make decisions, I will allow that.
Yeah. So I feel like that, and also like at a certain point, we just gotta make a decision on them.
Yeah, also true. Sorry, we're gonna blitz a couple of these teams, that's for sure.
Well, some of them are pretty obvious. Like we go to New York up next here. I feel like the Boulders are pretty mid.
Pretty mid, but I say lean toward good. So something to look forward to, or to disappoint us with. Who's to say? What a world.
See, here's the thing, though. They don't have, like, what's their positive spin?
They exist. They are likely to. They are far more competitive in a wildcard race with Tri-City, because Tri-City. Well, now Brockton decided they don't know how to play baseball anymore, so actually Tri-City might actually have them. But well, I mean, 4 teams make it now, so they should be able to make the playoffs, which you would argue is good.
I mean, you could also argue that dropping games against Down East and against New Jersey, I don't know, they took New Jersey. I forgot they had the weird thing there where they played the middle game at home and everything else on the road. Weird. But dropping games to Sussex, dropping games to the Three Rivers, dropping games to Brockton, dropping games to Ottawa.
I would say if they didn't occasionally just completely lose the understanding for how pitching works, I think they would be in a more solid spot. But If we're looking at it, they are a positive run differential and better than average in the league when it comes to it. So I think that is at least an indicator that things are going the right direction, combined with the fact they have been gaining lately. So positives to look at. We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah. The only thing I will say, though, is on that front, it's like, yeah, but if Austin Dents didn't have the tear he did the past month and a half.
I mean, listen, should he be in jail? Maybe. But for now, he's just doing his thing.
For now, we don't have laws in the books to stop him. We go down.
Somebody stop this man.
Down east.
Mid parentheses complimentary. The way like Sussex would be like mid derogatory, like mid complimentary, like down east exceeding expectations, definitely mid.
The recent hot streak has definitely done a lot to help them here. I will say that.
Agreed. I mean, I define it this way. Really, this might be how I start to define all mid or not in the league is if they beat Quebec one game, I'm not surprised in a 3-game series. If they beat them 2, I'm going, oh my God. If a good team beats Quebec 2 out of 3, I go, yeah, what? Okay, I could see it. And then if like a bad team wins 1 against Quebec, I'm calling you. Like, I think that's honestly maybe the best scale we've come up with for the Frontier League.
The Quebec indicator.
That is the ratio what we're measuring with, I think, at this point.
What's your QUAX?
That's so good. Oh man, yeah, that's something.
What's that?
I honestly don't hate that metric, and I might continue to use it.
All right, New Jersey, bad, right?
Bad things, bad attendance. We're on to you.
We'll keep going. I don't want to talk bad about Bert's team because I like Bert.
I like Bert a lot too. Bert good, team bad.
Exactly.
Not,
give him
not
good
Bert
team.
fault. Not Bert fault. We're just devolving out of English.
While you use many,
really
if
into
you
the
would
mid
do.
report using Gen Z slang to just be like, Bert good, team bad, not Bert fault. Oh.
Caveman slang is not Gen Z slang. This is good news. Quebec's already good, so we'll just put them right there. Now on
down
to
east
Tri-City.
is 0-6 against Quebec, and they're about to play Quebec for their last 3 games of the year against them. So if they lose the next 3 to Quebec, I will be officially making them bad on the Quebec index. So big one coming down east. Figure it out. Line up those starters.
They got the
They're
opportunity.
not sending pitchers for the game.
Tri-City up next here. Are they mid?
That's a big question. I think
are they better or worse than Sussex is the question.
That is the question. For the purpose of the index, they are 3-3 against Quebec.
That does help their cause. Quebec was only 2-4, but
they are also 4-2. Wait, no, I'm dumb. Sorry. 3-3 against Sussex. I was really hoping for something definitive. They took 2 out of 3 to start, and I was like, yes. And they scrolled down in the second series. I was like, no. But if they're 3-3 against Sussex, doesn't that make them good? We just said Sussex is good.
I don't know. Quebec's +7 on them.
Quebec isn't even in the conversation. They're the metric. Don't make this a thing.
You know, there's got to be a lot of people listening from other teams out here that just get very aggravated when we mention Banana Ball in Quebec.
Dude, I will say for my NASCAR people, Shane Van Gisbergen has come over as like a road course specialist, joined the series. He has won 3 races in 4 weeks because he just does road courses. And they did 3 road courses in 4 weeks. And the guy who finished second yesterday went, honestly, that's like winning for me. I'm cool. Look, they're, a week in the standings behind who? Oh, doesn't matter. It's like a week and a half, technically speaking. Yeah, semantics. They're number 3 in their conference. Like, I don't know.
That's pretty good. Doesn't seem very mid.
No, I think it's good. I think they're good. Yeah. If we already said Sussex is good and they've split with Sussex so far, And they've
It
also
seemed to be
split with
pretty even
Quebec.
with Sussex, yeah.
I feel like we're going to let it ride and allow Hot Boy Summer to dictate how the rest of this goes. Also, I'm going to be in Tri-City tomorrow night. I'm trying to finesse some things for myself. So I'm making them good.
I'm willing to go along with this because they have a couple Quebec series coming up and a New York series. So, like, I feel like that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm about it.
August mid-report is going to piss off a lot of people. All right, moving on.
It's going to be harsh.
Moving on to Ottawa.
Man, Ottawa, what to do?
This is a team that, like, 2 weeks ago, I would have said bad team. But according to the Quebec Index.
Yeah, I mean, they've handled their big. It's like showing up for sweeps week. If you're in ratings, like they've shown up for the most recent Quebec series and they've helped themselves out.
And I mean, they just had 9 games against all the good teams, and they only lost 2 of them.
Yeah, you got to give them. What does that mean? Good or mid?
Let's see. Here's the thing. They've been winning a lot of games lately.
They are only 2 games out of a playoff spot.
And really, over the last month, they've really picked it up too. I'm willing to call them mid for now.
Mid, but boy, are they threatening good.
Exactly. Because, like, here's the thing. The first month of the year, horrific baseball. But the last month, like they've really come on strong.
Be allowed to play baseball anymore. I continue to push to get Quebec the hell out of this league.
All right, fine. American Association for them.
Right. Mom.
Pioneer League. Three Rivers is bad.
Three Rivers is not good, surely, and I think we can agree that Brockton is also a train wreck.
I can go along with that.
Wheels have fallen off.
There was that brief second there where Brockton had me fooled, or I was like, oh, maybe, and then it's like, nah.
Well, and it was really teamed up well because it was timed at the same time that Down East was making a push and Mississippi was making a push. And we're like, hey, like maybe these teams that we thought we should expect less of, we've missed something, and they are actually far better equipped for this than we thought. And then Brockton has proceeded to just run face first into traffic.
They're currently cleaning the drool off of themselves.
Just licking windows every bus trip.
See, and here's the thing, right? Like, I can excuse the Windy City series because, like, that was the Bobby weekend, so 5. I can excuse the Florence thing to a degree, but I can't excuse getting blown out by Florence. And then, like, Schaumburg, like, you weren't going to win that series. But, like, you go back even further, and it's like, all right, you split with Ottawa. You've won a series against Quebec and New York, and that's right when we were like, are they legit? They're winning series now. But I have not seen enough from this team to call them anything other than bad to mid.
I think they're bad. Yeah. I've also taken special interest in Brockton lately, and these games have been hard to watch.
I see.
Tough time to take a special interest in Brockton. I'll tell you that much.
You're right. Going to the Midwest here, we have Lake Erie up at the top. I kind of feel like the mid.
Okay. I was thinking good. Man,
here's my problem.
They have that way, like almost every American Association team, I feel like, where they will do something where like, oh, here we go. And then the next thing they'll drop 2 out of 3, just like to Florence. You're like, or not. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm dumb.
Sounds pretty mid. But like
no,
for me,
you're probably right.
It's just the vibe around them. It's just like, I'm not really afraid of them.
Can I say thing, which sounds really harsh, but it's that every time I think of them, I'm like, yes, the team that's holding first place until Washington decides it wants it.
It's hard.
And
it's probably
half
not
game
wrong.
Back now. Like,
I'm just gonna say it too. Like, we don't talk enough about Anthony Escobar. We really should talk more about him and his 1.7 ERA.
Yeah, I know. We need to do a better deep dive into like actual players. We've been talking a lot generally about teams lately, and I'd like to do a little more of a deep dive into players. I'm going to do that on my channel in a little bit, talking all-stars and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there are some guys who we should really start to pump up a little bit more. So maybe that'll be some upcoming content then.
Yeah, no, he's been solid, but yeah, overall, I just think this is a good mid team. Like, I look at all the other mid teams, and I'm like, yeah, you're better than them, but you're not as good as anyone in the good category. I put them there. Washington's kind of an interesting one, though, because I feel like
I think Washington's good. If I'm honest, I think this is more when they've been playing well. That's more true to who they are than like. A lot of teams, when they hit a rough patch, like this is exactly who they are. There's other times where you're like, yeah, there's extenuating circumstances here. Like Quebec, if we're honest, has not been over impressive the past. Like they had a weird couple of weeks stretch. I think this past week they got it right, but they're one where we're not going to call them mid because they dropped a few. But yeah, I think Washington fits more that way in my head.
Yeah, I'm fine putting them good for now, but I will say I kind of would like to see them step it up sooner than later, especially with some weak competition coming up here. Like this is kind of their time to make their move. Although they honestly have a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way home.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. I think I was checking that. I think, and part of that is because again, easy schedules into the league right now, but also I do think Florence kind of Washington got their tough games out of the way early.
So I'm going to go good for now, but if it kind of stays the same way it's been with the easier schedule, then I think that's a full-blown conversation.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Florence. Not lately.
Not lately, but
I'm still not really like.
No. And here's the funny thing. The way they're playing, if they had a track record of more success, I think I would say that I might lean mid on them. I do think they are probably bad because also if we look at the hot streak right now, it's they swept Brockton. Yeah, they took 2 out of 3 from Joliet, but Joliet's been kind of struggling. And before the Brockton series, they lost 2 out of 3 to Joliet. So taking 2 out of 3 from Schaumburg ain't nothing, especially on the road. But like there were some weird games in there too. I don't know what the hell was going on. There was the 23-19 game mixed in. So there was just some oddness. And then before that, there were the most recent 3 wins by Evansville.
Yeah.
So I think I got to keep them on the bad side for now.
Yeah, and I'm going to put Evansville right next to him there. You can't lose 12 straight and not.
No. In fact, you just can't lose 12 straight, but we'll deal with that later.
Yeah, so they're going to be bad too.
Putting them in the naughty room again.
All right, Midwest, getting some of the more obvious ones out of the way. Windy City, definitely going to be in the bad tier. Schaumburg, I think we can both agree is in the good tier. And Gateway, I feel good about putting them in the good tier.
Yeah, I'm just thinking through. Yeah, I feel good about everything there. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, Gateway was a little touch and go for a while there, but I feel pretty good about them right now. So that then leaves us with Mississippi and Joliet.
Right.
And see, here's the thing. They're both trending in opposite directions here. Like, we were very high on Joliet to start the year when things were going really well. And now they've really started to go off the rails. Mississippi, on the flip side, everything's going right for them.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel good about playing Mississippi as mid for now.
Yes, that was where my head was at.
Yeah, I've been letting it play out over the next month.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I need to see more consistency out of them before I call it one way or the other. So that's where I think Joliet's the conversation now. It's like they tear off 3 straight against Schaumburg and then drop 6 straight to like Windy City and Lake Erie.
Feels pretty mid.
It does. And then you come back, you lose 1 more to Florence, then you win 2 against Florence, and you lose 2. Yes, you lose 2 to Gateway. Then you lose 2 of 3 to Florence. But they had that really good run in the middle of June, where we started buying in on them. But honestly, looking back, I was about to say they were really a team of streaks, and I was like, mid-teams are often streaky.
Yep. That's my thought exactly from that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, most of their wins looked like they were coming off of like bad Mississippi and bad Mississippi, mainly Windy City in there as well. Yeah, I'm comfortable putting them in mid if you want to go that route. But I'm also open to going bad.
I think bad.
Okay.
I just haven't seen enough, and when they're bad, they're so bad. Like, while there are streaks, the streaks of good are just so much less high than the lows when they're low.
Okay, I can agree with that. So that gets us through the Frontier League here. So, good teams: Sussex County, Quebec, Tri-City, Washington, Schaumburg, Gateway. Bad teams: New Jersey, Brockton, Three Rivers, Evansville, Florence, Windy City, Joliet, and the mid teams: New York, Down East, Ottawa, Lake Erie, Mississippi.
Sounds good to me.
All right, on to the Atlantic League. It's kind of perfect time for them, right? As they start the second half here, we can really gauge off of the first half here.
Yeah, and this is the one I struggled with the most, if I'm honest, this league.
Okay.
Where do you want to begin?
I feel like we start in the top of the North Division and work our way. York, comfortably, I feel calling them good.
Yep, I am with you there.
Okay. So Long Island next. I'm fine with them being considered good.
I am too. I was thinking about it, and the more I stack them up against everybody else, that's where I was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and I said it in the video.
I was almost a little surprised by it, but they just keep going. They kind of a steady incline right now, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah, and I said in the ballot video I did, which is they're one of the few teams in this league that I could genuinely see being a problem. Everybody else, I have a very hard time really getting around my head that it's not just High Point and York. Long Island's the one team where I'm like, them and possibly second half Stormers. From what I saw from the first half, yeah, that's where I'm looking. Like, yeah, Stony at periphery, but that's just more based off of past performance. Current performance here, I just feel like Long Island's that definitive third, and that's enough for me. And they're, like you said, they're on the right trajectory.
My debate starts just below them.
Yeah, with Lancaster,
on where people land. Yeah, and to the other division as well, but for now we'll just say Lancaster.
I say mid, to be honest with you. I
think mid as well, because we're just in a holding pattern until we see if they're going to do the second half Stormers thing.
Yeah, it's mainly that now they got Scott Kelly, so they got the vibes in the room cooking. But that being said, here basically a 500 club. There's no like truly horrific regulars, but there's also no real like high highs, except for I think Mason Martin. I believe he's Lancaster, so like he's kind of like this is why this hasn't fallen apart yet. Yeah, it's him. I mean, Nick Ward, I'll give him 2. Joey Campagna, but he's only played 11 games, so it's really hard to consider him a critical piece so far. And then pitching wise, I mean, like, bullpen's nice, but your top starter has like 4 1/4. I mean, the rotation's very average, very mid, if you would. So yeah, I'm comfortable with them being mid. Staten Island. That's another one where I'm like, kind of feel like they're mid.
I feel like they're mid too.
Because they're very streaky.
Mid leaning good for sure, but mid.
Again, like if you're a 500 team, it's hard to view you as anything else. I know I said earlier records only mean so much, but like 500 and streaky, I mean, that's a telltale sign right there.
Right.
I mean, we know Hagerstown's bad, so let's just put them in right there.
Yep.
14 win
Quick
ball
one there.
Oofa. That is some rough business.
Dude, the offense is crazy when you look at like the runs scored per game compared to the league.
All right, so we feel good about High Point and good. That's kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
Southern Maryland.
Yep. This is where I go, well,
Oh,
because do I truly feel they're good? No.
I truly feel they're
But
streaky.
are they 8 games over 500? Yeah. If Charleston and Gastonia were what they were supposed to be, would they be 8 over 500? No. But are they what they're supposed to be? No. So like I'm back and forth on them.
See, on one hand, they finally got guys that can hit, right? They have
Right.
4
Shocking.
guys in there that are all like doing pretty respectively batting. However, this is also the year they don't have anyone that can pitch. There's like Sean Stemple.
Surprise, nightmares.
And 2 guys there. Maybe Daryl could have helped the pitching staff. I don't know. But
maybe should treat him a little better. But who are we?
I mean, look, who does he think he is? Deserving to be treated correctly. Yeah, it feels Jekyll and Hyde-ish. Definitely there. Quick look at the schedule to see what we're dealing with here. Oh, let's see here. I see a lot of beating bad teams. I see a lot of that. Like, I kind of want to say good, but it also feels like that good's built on a sandbar. Almost a Sussex
That's
County
exactly
situation.
it. Yeah, that's very much where I'm at with it.
I feel
It's
like
just
if we went Sussex County for good, Southern Maryland probably should be under good.
yeah, I'll give it that. Okay.
With the obvious caveat of like, if it falls apart and there's no defense for dropping them. Last 2 in the Atlantic League, we have Lexington and Gastonia.
I have mid for both.
Oh, by Charleston.
No, I don't. I lied. Wait, no, I have mid for both. If we're talking Charleston and Gastonia, I got mid
And
for
Lexington.
both. Because both, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I said Gastonia and Charleston. Mid for both. I think Charleston is mid, streaky, up, down, always around 500. It's hard to define it other than that. Gastonia, they've had injuries. They're getting the roster back together. I think all of the peripherals are showing that they were a better team than they were. They've been better than their record has shown so far. Even their like Pythag, like their expected record based on runs scored and runs allowed is 35 and 34. I think that they're a better team. They've had bad breaks. They've had literal bad breaks with injuries. I'm very much a believer in this Gastonia team in the second half. I think they are the exact opposite of Lexington. I think Lexington and Gastonia both are teams with, I think Lexington's a team with mid results and they're trending toward bad fairly quickly in a way that makes me put them in bad. Gastonia has a bad record in a way that but they're improving in a way that has me in mid right now. Cause I still think they're in that like influx period. I think it's likely that we see them even push all the way up to good by the end of this year. But I think for now I think we need to see how the first, I guess, month of this with like more of the roster that they intend to have moving forward looks.
I mean, I would say that's kind of mid for both then, right? I mean, one's getting the result.
I know who Lexington is. Well, Lexington's not getting the result. They got the results early and then they've been on a solid slide since. That's the thing with them.
It sounds kind of mid that they were good on a hot streak and now they're on a cold streak, kind of mid.
No. We've kind of seen this. I mean, what was it, like 8-1, which means since it was 8-1 was that record? I forget. Damn. They started out 6-1. They started out then 12-4. So if we use that, since that point, they're 21-31. I mean, that's 50 games plus of ending up below 500. 10 games below 500. I just still feel like this, like Lexington and Gastonia are kind of tied together to this point. No, absolutely. They're 2 completely different teams. Lexington's like, nah, hold on. Let's do this here. I feel passionately about this one. We're just looking at the recent stretch. So the concern for me is that they dropped two straight series or three straight series, but that was High Point, Charleston, High Point. But before that, they took 2 out of 3 from High Point, took 3 from Charleston, took 2 out of 3 from High Point. So literally High Point, Charleston, High Point. They won 3 series, lost 3 series, which to me, that feels mid as hell. But when we're looking at Lexington, like Lexington they've split their last 2 with Southern Maryland. They just lost 2 out of 3 to Hagerstown. Bad luck. Lost 2 out of 3 to Southern Maryland. Got swept by Charleston. Took 2 out of 3 against Southern Maryland. And then we start getting back into like 2 out of 3 from Charleston and 3 from High Point. That's like
that still
almost
sounds
a month
kind
ago.
of mid, though, because they took a series against a team we called good, and they got swept or beaten up by a team that we called bad.
I don't know, man. 3 for the last 8, and it's very much just like, I mean, when they are streaky, there's teams that like when they're on a winning streak, you're like, oh, this is a glimpse of what they are. When this team is on a winning streak, you're like, oh, this is weird. And then when it's a losing streak, you're like, yeah, this all tracks. I don't know. I just don't think from a roster perspective, they don't feel like they are the same. One feels like a good team that had a bad start and now they are like, or a bad team that had a good start, and one is a good team that had a bad start and now they're ships in the night here. That's my perspective on it. If you feel that passionately about it, I can put them both in a mid, but my official vote
saying,
would
though,
be Lexington.
If there's ships in the night, that means
And
they're
I mean,
even with each other.
Well, even then, Gastonia's taken, you know, I don't know.
Ship
But
hangs our
if
land
one
is still in
team
the sea.
ships in the night, it's about where you're going. I mean, I can tell.
When we're
I
talking
can
about
tell
where
you
they are.
what's more likely: Gastonia goes to the playoffs or Lexington goes to the playoffs.
I mean, if we're looking at it objectively right now, going off the standing, I mean, Lexington has the angle on them. By what? How many games? Let me go wild card standing here.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah,
like
certainly.
2
You look at the
games.
wild card standing because it has their ridiculous hot start in it.
I'm just saying, you're talking about who's going to make the postseason here. There's one team that's 2 games
And we're
under
talking
500,
about
one
in the
that's 9.
second half. I mean, we're talking about if we're looking at the second half, who do we think is going to have the better record here?
I mean, one team already does have. I mean, it's basically the same record. So,
Right.
I mean, I don't think either
All
one
right,
is.
we can go mid on both. But we're going to be sitting here next month putting Lexington in bad. That's what I'm telling you.
It's going to be really funny if Lexington keeps playing like 500 baseball and Gastonia keeps playing like 400 baseball.
Hey, man, I hope for them because I want the team to do well. But like, I've been pretty interested in them since their hot start, and I went, oh, this is a bad team, and then they started getting really bad results, and I was like, well, yep. Like, I mean, because if we're saying they're 10 games below 500 in their last 50, I mean, that is like this. That puts them. I mean, hell, Gastonia is 9 games below 500 over the course of 70. Hey, man, we can let it go as mid right now, but I want to go ahead and
I
say,
just say enough for where they're at right now, and like
jot it down on the sheet that Ryan said they're going to be bad by next mid report.
it's on the record.
Attaboy.
It's on the record. That's all you need. American Association, because we might as well just finish off the point streak.
Looking at the court reporter going, jot that down. They're like, yeah, jot it all down.
It's like, that's kind of my job. Finish out the point streak leagues with the American Association.
Yeah.
We have, I guess we'll just start east and work our way down here. Chicago, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's only 2 good teams in this league.
I'm hesitant on that. I'm
willing to call Sioux City and Kansas City good. I know they're both in the West. I just said we're doing the East, but like, I feel like we could run through this really quickly because like Gary bad, although improving.
Gary bad. Are we back to the Jersey conversation? Gary bad. Gary not team fault. Gary might be Lamar fault. Like we're just the flip of Bert.
Yeah. Okay, I think realistically for us, speaking personally for us, the best case scenario is we send Burt to Gary and Lamar to Jersey, and then it's just fair game to tear apart the team we want to tear apart.
but what about the Christopher Columbus of it all? It's a historic ballpark, Nick. Show respect. Anyway, okay, let's start. We're back to the East because we have a disagreement here.
Okay.
I have Chicago and Lake Country both as good. Nope, I don't. I have Chicago as good.
They're around 6-8 heater, and that's why they're above 500.
Yeah, but this is the second time they've gone on one of these runs.
But like, in order to go on these runs and still be around 500, you got to be on some losing runs.
No, I know, but we're talking about who the team they are now. There's a reason we do this monthly. And the team they are now, much like, as I argued with the Lexington conversation, has not been good, and Lexington has been good in Chicago.
Right,
Chicago won
now. They lost
5,
2 or 3 to King
6, 7,
County
8,
and 2 or 3 to Lake
10.
Country.
They won 10 out of 11. They dropped 2 out of 3, and then dropped another. They're up 2 out of 3 in a row, and then now they're back and they're on a run again.
They beat Lincoln and Milwaukee for 5 of them, and they lost 2 to King County, and then they lost 2 to.
Listen, if we're penalizing teams for beating up on the little sisters of the poor, then Sussex is back to mid. I'm not revisiting.
I'm just saying
they're beating the trash in front of them.
I'm just saying that this just feels like a mid team. I'm fine.
When we talk about Hurricane
good.
Katrina, we don't put the asterisks on it that any city needed a bath. It was New Orleans. We say it was a big storm. It's a good win streak.
I'm leaving that in, but like, fine.
You better. I love you, New Orleans. You know this. But also, Bourbon Street smells like pee, man. You gotta figure it out. Like,
well, when there's drunks walking around pissing wherever they want, yeah, it's gonna smell like piss.
if it's gonna smell like pee that bad, you have to invest more in street cleaning. That's what I'm telling you. Doesn't matter. We'll get back to it.
Like, you want to call them good, fine, but like, all I'm gonna say is the way you are expecting to be able to take a victory lap on Lexington, I'm expecting
good.
The way you expect to take a victory lap on Lexington is the way I expect to take a victory lap on Chicago when they eventually come crumbling back down to 500 baseball.
Oh, really? Idiot. Because look at their schedule coming. Milwaukee, and then Winnipeg, Kane County, inconsistent Cleburne, Kansas City, Womp, Lake Country, meh. Gary again. In 1 month, we're going to be talking about how they're on a 6-game heater again. Suck it, Nick.
You watch when they go ahead and they drop that series to Winnipeg north of the border, and then they drop 2 or 3 from Kane, and they drop 2 or 3 from
Just
Cleburne.
Because all the cool kids aren't allowed to travel to Canada is not a thing I'm going to hold against these teams.
Oh, shit, they should get guys that have
We're going to start our own team, and we're going to say no every time we get scheduled against Canadians. Because I recently checked, and I'm very much not allowed in Canada. Sorry, Quebec, I'll visit eventually.
Womp womp.
Womp.
The saddest of womps. Lake Country.
So what have we learned? You don't drink a bunch and then punch a cop. I didn't punch a cop. He was not in uniform. It's different. A cop who was a rugby player who happened to be starting something. I got involved. I didn't know they were that serious about it. Thought we were going to be passive, huh? Anyway, where were we?
Lake Country.
The Royal Mounted Police do nothing. They are the cause of so many missing people. Don't get me on this soapbox. Okay, I'm fine. I'm back. What do we got? Lake Country?
Yes.
Got them good. I got them. I have a hard time putting them in my top 10 recently, and they call them mid. So I think I have to stick to my guns and say they're good.
I was leaning to dropping out of my top 10. So,
well, they might be dropping out of my top 10 this week. We'll see.
I mean, like, here's the thing. I'll be honest. I only ever really rank them because, to put it bluntly, there's not a lot else to pick from. So you start going through it.
Also true. Like, I'm going to start getting like accused of like anti-American Association bias at some point here. But like, also your good teams keep doing bad team things. So it's really hard sometimes.
Many would say that's a mid-team move.
Look, I mean, is the entire American Association mid? Do you want to go on the record with that?
All but 2 of them I call mid to bad.
Nick, are you saying that the American Association is a mid-league?
Pretty mid this
year. Yes or no for the record? Court reporter?
This year, yeah.
Please write that down.
I have no
Are you
problem
writing that
saying
down?
it. The supposed best team in the East just lost 2 games to Gary, including one where they got thwacked by 11.
So what?
And they had to eke out a 4-2 win on Sunday. All right, I'm not really giving them flowers here. Not to mention...
I can go mid. I can meet you there.
Yeah.
With the deciding factor also, they are just going the wrong way. Like, if they were doing this and they were on the upswing, I'd be like, hey. But yeah, I can back off on that a little bit.
Speaking of mid, Cleburne.
Yeah, mid. For sure. Because every Cleburne team will always be mid. Because every single time it's the same team. It is, we hit baseballs. We do not throw them. And that is just, welcome to Cleburne. It's very hot. Like, it will literally always be mid. You're good at you're good at one half of the game. Super sick.
Gaines, whoever wins that 4th spot, the pity spot for the playoffs, going to go down there, beat him 3, and move along to get thwacked by whatever comes out of the top part, just to get thwacked by whatever comes out of the West.
It's worth discussing that it is interesting that the Cleburne is not as hitter-friendly a ballpark as the reputation suggests. The stats just don't back it up. And despite that, this is now, I think, the 3rd consecutive manager where the team has just been all hitting, no pitching. It's really weird. Pervasive, if you will. The thing I will, never mind. I got a different topic, but we're going to hit it when we get to the West Division. So I'll shut up for now.
Okay.
King County.
Yeah, Kane. I call him mid.
Mid for sure. Yep.
Upswing has saved them from that. But,
yes.
Yeah, they have certainly come around. Milwaukee, I think, is bad.
I know. I want to call them mid simply for the Milwaukee joke. However, I think they are bad.
I just don't think it's a good team this year.
Milwaukee needs to be a bigger discussion because people forget Milwaukee was also bad last year. So we will have to discuss Milwaukee a little further. And we can discuss it with the freedom of knowing we're not going to cost anybody their job because we got a multi-year contract at manager. So we'll just discuss what the hell is going on with Milwaukee.
Sioux City and King County. I comfortably put them in good.
No, Kansas City, I assume.
For both of them, I'm putting them in good.
No, you are definitely not putting King. Are you putting King County in good? No, you're not.
No, I said Kansas City and Kansas City.
And you said King County. That's what threw me off.
Oh, okay. Well, I meant to say
the damn KC abbreviations. It's just obnoxious. I do it twice a week. Yeah, Kansas City is good. Sioux City is good. I agree with you there.
Okay, good.
Let's see.
Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls, my hot take is they are a championship appearance sleeper. I think they will appear in the championship this year. And with that, I think they're good.
You know?
Now, I do think it depends slightly on matchup. I think if they get anybody but Sioux City, they're good. I think they're going on a run.
I like their offense, obviously.
They're so good offensively. It's such a headache. I need the Sioux Falls-Sioux City matchup constantly. It's so entertaining.
The pitching, Cosby's phenomenal.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I cracked the joke already in the video, and I felt bad about it in my last American Association video.
The only thing I get concerned about with this team, and that would give me pause to put them in good, which I'm willing to do it, I'm willing to call them good, is simply that starting pitching, I feel like, is going to bite him in the ass at some point. Because outside of Dormady, it just feels like you're hoping and praying the other 4 come through for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure, which we should also discuss how impressive Midseason is playing in the birdcage right now. But yeah, man, that's going to be a tough one. But I look, they're good. I think they're good. If we're even discussing, they could be a problem. So here's my thing with Sioux Falls. Sorry, I should speak to it better. I articulated in that last video where last year broke the trend of, Sioux Falls, good offense, bad pitching. they had good offense last year and average pitching last year. And again, this year it's average pitching. It isn't very deep, but the top end is good enough to compete, which can help with a playoff run, can help you get through most weeks, right? So that's where I think I have them as good, because they went from being like Cleburne, where it's good offense, bad pitching, averages out to mid. Now they are good hitting, average pitching, which I still think leans you somewhere between mid and good then. And I happen to think they're good, but I can understand if you think they're mid.
I'm willing to go good on it. I'm willing to go good.
Okay.
Because, like I said, the starting pitch is the only element of it that I don't love. So I'm willing to go good there.
I'm going to circle back on one thing super fast here. Talking Sioux Falls and Sioux City, because I knew there was a weird thing that I liked about it. They've played 6 games so far. All 6 have been in Sioux Falls. So who's winning, the offensive side or the pitching side? I don't know. They've split them. Sioux City is outscoring Sioux Falls, and neither of them have really controlled the scoring very well. They are winning on average 6 2/3 of a run, 6 2/3 runs to 6 1/3 runs. So they're right even with each other, but it's like inconclusive. So they got 3 more series, including 6 down the stretch, which are going to be really interesting. So keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Fargo, Winnipeg, and Lincoln. Those are the next 3. Anyone in there that we can immediately categorize?
Lincoln. Lincoln's bad.
Okay.
Lincoln is so unfortunate because they had a mid-year run where it was like, hold on, they're doing it, and they stopped the bleeding, and then they have started bleeding once again. It is all over the floor.
Winnipeg, I kind of want to call bad.
I think they're bad as well. I think they're probably the best of the bad, but I think they're bad.
Yeah, it's just like with something where every time I look up, it's just like, oh, they're not like. I see them win a couple, and then it's just like feels like it's followed by like 10 losses or something crazy.
The funny thing is, if I put them into mid, it would be because they were so good last year. But if I put them in bad, it's almost also because they were so good last year. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, they're probably not as bad as they've been this first opening stretch here, but at the same time, it's like they were so good last year and they've fallen off so hard. That's kind of like, what is happening? I think the biggest thing that we have to mention with Winnipeg is they're giving up almost a run per game more than they were last year. I mean, pitching really carried last year, and that's not getting it done. And then they're also scoring a run per game less. So they've gone from being like 2 games winning, like run differential, like 2 games. Oh my God, run differential. It's 2 runs per game better than their opponents, down to like even almost. In fact, slightly worse. So that's, I don't know what's going on. That deserves a deep dive at some point, which unfortunately I'll admit I haven't done, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Fargo is the tricky one because their May was phenomenal.
Right. I agree. But
and
then that was a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started to look like towards the end of June, beginning of July, like maybe they're turning the corner. And then again, losing some games to Gary gives me pause, and they lose a couple of the Sioux Falls, what we call Sioux Falls goods. Like, what does that mean? It kind of just feels like looking through it all. They beat the teams they kind of have to beat, Gary Sears excluded.
Mm-hmm.
And they lose to teams that are better than them, and that's mid behavior.
Yes, I'm with you. Yeah, I think Fargo's mid, but I think they're probably the best of the mid teams.
Is their plan? Winnipeg is best of the mid.
Oh no, Winnipeg is best of the bad in my mind.
Oh.
I think Fargo's the best of the mid in mine. It's just the offense is non-existent. The pitching is very good. The offense is non-existent. So I think we've already discussed, if you got one that's real good, one that's real bad, you're going to average out in the middle. Literally the second worst offense in the league and the second best pitching in the league. Neither of them being very close to like getting, like, they're certainly not the worst, but they're also certainly not third best or third worst. So I think I'm comfortable saying they're mid.
I can do that. Yeah. So the breakdown for the American Association then is good teams are Chicago, Sioux City, Kansas City, Sioux Falls. Bad teams, Gary, Milwaukee, Lincoln, Winnipeg. Mid teams, Lake Country, Cleburne, Kane County, Fargo.
I like it.
Okay. We go to the last one, the Pioneer League. So I think off the hop, we can start putting some bad teams in the bad category here. Obviously,
yeah, I would say so.
obviously, Colorado Springs / NoCo
My
is going to
babies,
be.
my sweet summer children, they're bad.
Yes. Great Falls, bad.
Yeah. Great Falls, bad. Glacier, bad.
All right. This is great. We're going through this one very nice and quickly here.
We're gonna have a hot disagreement. I'm gonna have somebody not thrilled with me on the Twitter coming up because I meant to mention something on the pod last episode and I didn't, and now is my time. But I think those are the three we'll label off the bat.
All right, working our way from bottom up. Billings.
I have Billings as bad.
I'm not really going to fight you on it.
Unimpressed. The only reason they're not I don't know.
They're supported by crap that's behind them.
Yes, exactly. And here's the one that I was looking for. There we go. Ha ha. I want to pull a quick bit of the data for you. So here's the thing is equally damning, right? Without their games against NoCo, they are 13-26. And looking at the games with NoCo, they're 4-2, which also on the scale of how you play against NoCo is also bad. If you're not taking 5 of 6 against NoCo, you should be set adrift. So yeah, not good.
All right. Now we get to some that are probably more conversational.
Debatable. Yes.
Yeah,
well, okay, I was going to say, do we want to work from the top as well and knock out the good ones, or are we okay?
I mean, if you want to get
we can end on a positive if you would like.
No, screw that.
Let's say Oakland's good.
Yeah, Oakland's got to be good. I mean,
and frankly, their schedule hasn't even been that bad. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, no, they're
now we're going to learn a ton about them because they're playing Yuba 18 times down the stretch here. But I mean, okay, look at this. Hold on. I will say they're on that ridiculous streak right now, but they did just rip 5 of 6, including 5 in a row against Boise, who is which is more impressive than we care to admit. 5 of 6 against Glacier. Okay, the schedule's not good because their last 11 out of 12 streak was against Rocky Mountain. Which is tough, but look, it's 35-9, so it is what it is.
Yeah, so I mean that's not too bad. I mean, like there's some lesser competition there, but I still think the 26 games are 500.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that's a notable number, and they have the fewest losses in indie ball across the Big Four. So,
yeah, I agree. I mean, you can't argue it. There's no way. If they were 30-18 like Boise and they had that kind of schedule, I'd be like, well, hold on, let's talk about this. But 35-9 is 35-9.
Yeah. Missoula good?
Yep, they're good.
Yeah. Boise good?
I'm gonna say yeah, because honestly, I even think Boise's offense just runs at a clip, man. Like they score runs, dude. I mean, what are they? They've scored double. Now, look, they played NoCo and Billings in the last 10 and 12 games, but they did put up double-digit runs in 9 of their last 12. I mean, goodness. Even against Oakland, I mean, their pitching kind of gave in, but they had some tough scheduling there. But, I mean, they still did pretty well, man. They beat the bad teams. I like Boise. They're good.
Okay. I'm not going to fight that. I was leaning good as well, so.
Cool.
Yuba.
Mid. Really disappointed by how they've looked. They've had stretches where I was really impressed.
Oh, the DM.
Jerome Williams, shout out though. Jerome Williams though, gotta love it. Philly's legend, don't forget. But I mean, you can't lose 5 out of 6 at home to Grand Junction. Can't be doing that now. So you're getting settled with the mid. Bro, calm down.
They're getting hot. I was going to lean more good, but yeah, I mean, I am looking at their July and it doesn't look great.
Yeah, I mean, no, they just haven't done enough. And here's my other thing too. They tend to like, I mean, they're certainly much better than bad teams, so that's a plus. But like, even dropping 2 to Rocky Mountain's a tough look. And then when Rocky Mountain then turn, so if Oakland's solidly good, and we're trying to see if they're going to be also in that good tier, Oakland just won 11 out of 12 to Rocky Mountain. I mean, Yuba they came a 1-run win away from actually 2-run one. I mean, yeah, they won 4 out of 6 against Rocky Mountain just before Oakland won 11 out of 12, and Yuba needed 2 1-run wins to do it. Also, by the way, this is something we're going to discuss, and I'm not going to take the time to do it now. Oakland might have the best Pioneer League bullpen since they've gone indie ball. We'll talk about that. That bullpen in Oakland is unreal. They have like a 7.89 right now. I think they all got sub 2 ERAs that just work the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. Crazy. And dude, and those ERAs in the Pioneer, like I get they're playing at Oakland, but come on now.
Even still, yeah. That brings us Idaho Falls.
I got the mid, and it's a shame.
Yeah, you seem like hot start merchants.
That was my thing. Is I think if you asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said Idaho Falls is mid on the edge of good. Now I think they're mid on the edge of bad, unfortunately.
I'm not sure I'd go that far. I do think they're mid, though.
Buddy, they just lost 5 of 6 to Great Falls. Let's not sleep on that happening.
That's fair, actually. Yeah.
It's really hard to argue with certain receipts. Certain ones were like, we can have the Gastonia Lexington ship in the night conversation, but 5 out of 6 to the Voyagers, including 5 in a row, is diabolical.
That's not learning anything there, dear God.
No.
Ogden, Grand Junction, Rocky Mountain. Those are what we got left.
All right. Ogden, I have mid, but they are at all times threatening good if they get on a run.
I feel like they're still kind of a mid team here because, like,
no, I agree that they're mid.
They're too streaky.
I agree that they're mid, but if they can take a big chunk of these games coming up against Idaho Falls, who we just talked about struggling, and then they can take their series against Boise, I think and then they go on a 12-game
stretch. Well, then that's a different conversation.
Yeah, I know. So, like, we could very well be talking about them good because they might win. They could reasonably win 18 to 20 of their next 24, and we'll be like, well, there's all that then.
Yeah. So then we have the 3 sub 500 or 2 sub 500s left. We have Grand Junction and Rocky Mountain.
Where do you want to start?
I kind of feel like Rocky Mountain may be bad.
I think Rocky Mountain's bad, dude. They're trash. That's a trash team, and I'm only passionate about it because their broadcaster got on me on Twitter saying, like, hey, that's not fair to say that they're bad. And I'm like, bro, the numbers don't lie. He was like, if you look at the stats, they're really not that bad. It's only been the recent run. I'm like, the stats are only good in the beginning because they had 11 straight games against NoCo and beat their teeth in. Like, what are you talking about? I'm so sorry. I'm not going to jump on him because I get defending your team. That's not about him. But, like, there was reasonable support behind that in DMs. Like, yeah, dude, Rocky Mountain's not that bad. Look at the record. I'm like, ignore the record. That record's a lie, man.
They are getting beat up.
21 and 22. They're 21 and 22. They've been 11 and 21 since that NoCo series. Like, get out of here. And it's not close. It's not like I said with Yuba, where like Yuba's scratching by 1-run games. It's Rocky Mountain. Every game is chaos. Like, we know this. This is no new fact. But like, I'm like passionate about this team is because here's my confession. I've never ranked a Pioneer League team before. I was open to ranking Rocky Mountain because it was hard not to after they destroyed NoCo like they did. If NoCo won a few games and Rocky kept rolling, I was like, oh, Rocky Mountain could be a top 10 team. No. Tragedy.
Yeah. I mean, their losses are so by such large margins here.
All right. If you remove the runs they scored, keep in mind, this is Rocky Mountain, which is one of the most aggressive offensive environments in the league. If you remove the runs they scored in that NoCo series to start the year, they have the second worst run scoring offense in the league. I mean, for real, that's happening. And it's not like they held NoCo like scoreless this series. I mean, they kind of beat the hell out of them, if I'm honest. That was a brutal series. But so without that series, if we're talking runs allowed per game, they go from the 5th best in the league to the 7th best, according to my correct math, 7th best. So they go to below average. So this is a team that since the NoCo series is scoring 6.2 runs per game and allowing 8.1. So like saying, well, look at the runs scored and the runs against. Sure, they're below 500, but they're scoring a half run more per game than their opponents. No, they just scored 1 million more runs than Noco for 2 weeks. And then this team's been terrible since. Sorry, it's not against the Rocky Mountain guys, by the way. I get it. You're playing the schedule you got, and it's a tough go. But like, there are at least 4 defenders of Rocky Mountain where I'm like, you cannot be serious. I'm done. I'm sorry. You caught a rain on that one.
No, this is good. I was able to update my plans for later while you're doing that, so it worked out fine for
Oh,
me.
boy. I'm here for it.
So Grand Junction now is what's left here. This kind of feels like, to me, the kind of living embodiment of the "you're not going to fool me, I knew you were ass" kind of team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a hot streak where you're beating up Noco does not move me. I will say the Yuba Sutter series kind of moves me, but yeah, I still don't believe in them.
I have Grand Junction pretty firmly at mid.
Okay.
I had 4 mid teams. They're one of the middle 2. I'll say that. You know what I mean? They're not even on the fringe.
The truest mid of mid.
The middle of mid. Yes, indeed.
We've reached mid prime.
Damn it. You're so stupid.
Yeah, right. So then.
And for that, I subject you to Tiramisu.
Pioneer League team list here. Good is Oakland, Missoula, Boise. Bad is Colorado Springs / Noco. Great Falls, Glacier, Billings, and Rocky Mountain. Real dichotomy out there in Montana. Then mid teams would be Yuba, Idaho Falls, Ogden, and Grand Junction. Meaning,
yes, sir.
At the end of all of this, our mid teams are as follows: New York, Down East, Ottawa, Lake Erie, Mississippi, Lancaster, Staten Island, Charleston, Lexington, Gastonia, Yuba, Idaho Falls, Ogden, Grand Junction, and Lake Country, Cleburne, King County, Fargo. That feels about right.
Yep, I stand by that entirely. This is the only one where it's exactly the way I mapped it out, because I think we're all on the same page on this.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, like, I think there's some room for movement when we get into August, but for now, I feel pretty good with that.
Yeah, I think we can kind of expect where we're going to see movement from, so it should be fun to see if we actually see it or not.
Exactly. There's a lot of teams here that are propped up off of I assume your second half of the year is going to go better than your first half of the year. So
right.
That brings
an end surely to the be this bad.
It cannot possibly continue. So that brings us to an end of the bonus episode, the end of the mid report for the week or for the month. Do you want to do some plugs and then get out of here?
Yeah, Indie Ball Nation on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Check out my last video. I did something a little bit different. I sort of I took some time to step back and redo how I'm doing videos, so I want to get some feedback on that if possible. Just let me know. A couple of you also reached out about the recent conversation about if I were to start a league, like how I would want to do it. I've seen your messages, but I want to actually take the time to sit down and like have a good bit of thought on it. So I will be getting back to you, I promise. And thank you for the feedback. I like that. It's fun.
Excellent. So more stuff coming up on the YouTube channel for me, Indie Ball Report everywhere except for Twitter, which is Indie Ball Pod. We'll have more stuff coming out there. And yeah, we're going to try to get back onto the content schedule. I'm currently looking at a whiteboard that has 8 videos I got to put out, 5 articles, and 4 other posts on top of the regular posts and stuff I got to do. So
yeah,
fun for me.
I have a breakdown in the next 24 hours. I should have new rankings coming out and a breakdown coming out about Art Warren getting full MMA fighter against Joseph Rosa in Gastonia and Charleston this week. So keep an eye out for that one. Forgot I was supposed to plug that. My bad. So stupid.
All right. So that's all from us. We will see you next week. But until then, don't forget to play ball.